Man, I'm finding so much stuff. This innocuous notebook is actually pretty meaningful. So the national tour that I did in 2012 was kind of the high point of my music career, such as it was. This is the notebook of the guy that went with me on the tour, and it's full of interesting ephemera. First thing to note, we played a lot of Hangman. We traveled 10,000 miles on this tour. We've got addresses of like gigs and stuff that we were playing. Man, we got like, little directions we jotted down. We didn't even really have smartphones back then. We also took turns, like this is my handwriting here. And this game of Pac-Man was Mary, Mother of God, exclamation. I guess we were doing the Jeopardy or the Wheel of Fortune thing where we say what it is. So we had these giant signs that we put out to advertise the gigs. And I never got rid of these signs. That's what these things are. We would find people. Here was the advertising campaign. I'll give it away. Nobody really ever did this. So what we did to advertise these gigs in different states, different cities all over the place, we would find people that lived on very, very busy intersections, and we would just ask them like, hey, we're gonna be here for about a week. Can we put a sign in your yard? We had a lot more than just these three. These are the ones that have survived over the years. And as you can see, what we did is we left the middles of these blank and then just printed off the information for each individual gig. Like here, you can see we were playing at the Coffee Spoon on some street called Olio, and then of course we had the time and date. But that's only half the story. These are the small ones, okay? These are made out of a quarter sheet of plywood on each side. We had a sign that was a full sheet of plywood on each side. So, this wide, the width of those two, and then up to about there. Whatever double this height would be. And we would put that in people's yards, obviously with their permission. It worked. That advertising campaign worked. We could just roll into a city or a small town in particular, and just get people to show up to the gigs by doing this. I mean, that was like a big deal. Anybody out there that has played music, it's hard to get your friends to show up to your gigs. People are busy, especially back in the day. Well, probably even more so now. But this actually works because it's like, especially with the giant sign, it's like, what is that? Every person there is going to be like, what is that giant sign in John's yard? So anyway, in the notebook, sometimes we jotted down where these signs were, because we were in a different city almost every week or more than every week. So a lot of times we didn't remember where we left them. As you can see, this says corner of University and I don't even know what that says. We played Maxine's in Bastrop, Texas, which is still there if I remember right. And we put down the addresses here. Now here he was trying to translate one of his songs into Spanish. We had a lot of time on our hands. Here I was trying to transpose his songs into mandolin. And this is the tabs for that. There's a bunch of other random stuff. This was the address of my vending business back in the day, if I remember right. I think it was. Yeah, here's another gig. Basically, this is just a classic piece of M3 lore, and we are not throwing it away.